Hello and good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And my name's Lauren.
Pardon me?
My name's Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren is here, but she will be off camera today. Very busy things happening in the studio here, like renovations. I made Lauren a Halloween costume once upon a time, and Donatello the Ninja Turtle. Today she's channeling her frescoes as we work on our strength, and both are important. Let's celebrate the art, the beautiful Lauren, and your own body here today. We'll start with our breath. Hand belly, hand chest, comfortable position for you. I'll be standing here with my feet in parallel. With the hand on the chest, fill the lungs, lifting the heart or chest. It does not have to be as big as what I'm going to show here as I get a little bit closer to the camera. For a couple in a row through the nose, breathe in and make the top hand move. It may or may not look something like this. Exhale. Take one more. And exhale. Then keep the chest calm and fill the belly. Breath in, filling belly. Breath out. Breathe in, fill the belly. Breathe out. Breathe one more time in the belly. And then one more time in the chest. And then let out the chest. And then really dig out that belly. We'll come back there in a quick moment. For now, place your hands out front, palms facing me or the screen. High five. High five. From here, keep the straight lines through the palms to the fingertips and gently flex through the wrist. Then make fists as you try to grab those socks with your toesies, as we might later today too. And then, without letting go of those socks, show me your knuckles. And then try to maintain that position, extend through the fingers. And then wiggle that to relax. Let's do the same thing out to the side. The side could be anywhere between here and here, or just about that straight line across. So slowly from here, turn the palms down. Make sure your shoulders feel secure. Then we'll extend those wrists as to touch these side walls, reaching wide, and then bending on the wrist with straight lines through the fingertips there. From here, we'll grab on to a light grip, as if you're grabbing socks with your feet, or fistfuls of cashew trail mix. And then keeping your grip, extend the wrist, meaning pushing those knuckles towards the ceiling. And then gently extend through those fingertips, trying to touch the ceiling with the fingertips. And then the little wiggle and down. Let's come back to the breath just quickly here. By quickly, I mean slow. And by slow, I mean 4 seconds in, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, and then a 4-second hold empty. Let's do that for 4 rounds with a closed lips, starting with a breath in 3, 2, first sniff for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And I think there's one more. Big last breath in for 4. Hold. And exhale. And relax that out. Let's go back to those shoulders. Gently with the hands at the sides now. Shrug. Forward, down. Shrug. Retract, down. Repeat. Elevate. Forward, keeping those hands at your side and down. Elevate, retract, and down. One more, elevate, roll forward, low, and then up, retract, and down. Hopefully our shoulders feel warmed up. Find yourself on the floor at this time. I'd like to get into our low back, mid back, some rotations from all fours. So we've warmed up those wrists a little bit out to the side. Let's place the hands on the floor. Check in with those cues like we know how, where we have the fingertips wide open, elbow donations face forward, armpits low, little chin tuck. They're cheering for us outside because they know these are good cues. And then from here, take some breath. I'm going to do my quarter turn. You just stay where you are. The head will be looking neutral through the spine, right between the thumbs. Lightly pull the knees and the elbows together, or pulling on the floor to create some tension. Then, starting at the tip of your tailbone, flex or tuck or round, whatever we're going to call it, that lumbar spine. Don't move through the ribs. Then, push the hands forward, push the knees and feet back to take yourself to not a sway back, but that extension or lumbar shape we're showing here. Then, from that position, pull on the floor. Think all the way down to the coccyx or the tip of the tailbone as you're flexing, pulling on those abdominals. They're cheering for us again outside. You must be doing so well outside there at home. And then I'm flexed out. I'm going to push forward, and then my tailbone will tilt or extend towards the ceiling. One more time of each. From that position, let's pull on the floor. Ab work. Don't stretch your low back. Strengthen your abs instead. I'm flexing through my lumbar spine. Now I'll press forward through hands, tilting my tailbone lightly towards the ceiling. Bring your hands up those knees. Let's take a second standing up here anyhow you want. I'll do my little fun toe squat, which will be hands to floor, pushing back, and then up. Any variation of your choice is good for today here. While we're up, let's get working on those feet. So from here, heel strike out front. Push through that back leg to transfer weight onto the front. Then again, it's that pinky articulation across. Again, pushing the hip through. Heel strike, pushing through the back leg to keep that hip coming forward with us. Keep that hip coming forward. Heel strike. Couple in a row here. Just go nice and slow. Last one or two. And hopefully you have nice room at home to walk around just a little bit, a little hallway. Last one here. So again, warm up those feet. Feel it as we go through. From here, let's just work on that hinge as we get back to the floor. Hinging with our spine and extension, which is the cue we're going to work on from all fours again in a second. In our hinge, we could hang here for about 10 seconds. Vertical shins, extension shape here. Vertical shins, as we said, Ian, not those knees forward. And then from here, let's just walk on down. No rules to get back to knees on the ground. This is our cat-cow, and just watch for a second. We've played with that lumbar spine already. That's my low back moving, and my hips are my low back. Now, I want us to play gently with that rib cage. This is my rib cage. This is my head and neck. And the likelihood is that you're going to try to recruit from the head and neck to get this movement or mobility through our T-spine. Be patient, be intense, but for certain people out there, not like a knife is driving in your back, more like a butter knife is scratching your back. Let's go. Open all those hands. From this position again, flex the rib cage onto the hips so we round the back a little bit. However, from this position first, push the floor away as to protract the shoulders, and you probably look more like that angry cat. I'm not saying that's wrong, But for today, retract the shoulder blades together and then try to round through the rib cage and spine. That's going to feel different. Now, pull the floor together, create tension on those abs, and try to lift your heart forward for 5 more seconds, trying to push my heart through that gateway that is my arms and shoulders here. Relax that tension. Same thing, light chin tuck. Pull the rib cage down towards those hips. Small shapes are great. And then keep pulling down on the abdominals as I want you to lengthen out and push your heart or chest forward. And I'm having a hard time talking and doing this for 3 more seconds. 2. And then relax. It is about making those simple drills challenging. Let's do this one more time here. Slight flexion through the rib cage, right? So round the upper back. But then calibrate the shoulders that they're actually pulled together. Then bear down on those abdominals. Keep your chin in the neutral place and lift. And I'm going to look at the video footage after, and it's not going to look like I'm doing a lot of work. But holy cow. Holy cat cow. 2 more seconds. Soften away. Easy style. Let's get those hands back towards knees. And then up anyhow. I showed that toe squat the last time. Maybe that's a little advanced. Did you choose a little lunge movement instead? Let's try that this time to come up. Back to those feet. This time, toe, ball, balance. Hold for a second. Tall, tall, tall. Transfer that weight. Keep these hips coming through to stay underneath of us. And toe, ball, weight transfer. Enliven these 2 parts of the foot on the front. Carry the hip through. Point the toe, ball, heel. Doesn't have to be a big step. And can you feel yourself pushing your weight forward? And last one here, toe, ball, heel. And then the last one, let's actually just carry that leg through if we can again. And slow down. One of the cues that we've given forever is crack a walnut. Squeeze your bum cheeks. I'm doing it here.
Me too.
Lauren is too. We're doing it over here. However, I'm doing it there, I'm doing it here, I'm doing it here. But it's not about only cracking that walnut. It's about actually carrying your hips to be underneath of your ribs. Kind of the thought that's been occupying my training journaling this week. Keeping the hips coming through. Let them help you. With that in mind, let's go back down. And then from all 4s, as long as we felt okay with that upper back, I like to do our hip car, this kind of thing. If you're not interested in being on wrists, we can do very much the same thing from standing. Let's do it from the floor because it's harder. Come on, low. We'll face this way to start. Set up that all 4s. Very quick, just the positions again. We're going to keep the tailbone long, the head neutral, good hand positions as always. No applause out there today, but that's okay. From here, tailbone stays long. Lift the knee off the floor, as I am here on my right, and flex the hip, meaning lift the knee and try to pull it towards the elbow. Super small range if you're doing it honestly. 3, 2, place it down. Same thing on the other side. One might be a little bit more movable, flexible, strong, you name that word. Hold that for 2 seconds more and then down. The next one, I'll face this way. Same idea, lift out to the side. So lifting and elevating a leg out to the side. Lauren, put that honey pot on your back and it's not going to spill. Not a drop, Pooh Bear. 3, 2, and then slow underneath. We'll do the same thing to the other side here. Don't lose a drop of honey. Lift that leg out to the side. Hang out for 3 and 2 and slow in. Lastly, you stay in that same position. In that extension of the hip now, gently bend the knee, lift off the floor, trace the leg on the floor as you are, lifting away, extending the hip, pushing the bottom of the foot towards the ceiling. I'm going to look sideways. I got to see what my shape is. Well, that's not bad. But you see how I tried, my leg can get higher if I'm in my low back shape here. Not as strong, more humbling. Oh my God, more challenging if I really try to activate the hips. That was a ton of time if you're with me through that. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Extend the hip. Aim to get that leg parallel to the floor, but maintain your core tension. Think the hip extension and the butt cheek doing that work for you, and then down. And I know that can be intense, so let's take some time off those hands and those hips. Can we flatten our feet out the back and very slow, hinge on those knees and hips. Whew. No urgency to this. Keep your rib cage going this way, but I want you to go that way. You're pulling your rib cage this way, and you're going that way. And then you're going to squeeze your bum and try to come all the way back up top. And just one of those again. Nice and slow. Sit towards heels. My rib cage is being pulled to my hips going this way as I'm going back that way. And hold for a second. And then can you squeeze and extend through the hips to tall. Holy quadriceps. Let's go back to those hands. So now we're going to articulate that full circle from all fours. I'll be leading with my left leg first. My left leg pulls off the floor, compressing in the hip. Then, if I lift my knee towards my thumbs, now I'm flexing. I'm out of room there, so I'll reach out to the side. My inseam is facing down till about here, and then I'll turn that inseam in. My foot goes towards the ceiling. I'm aware of my core, trying to make sure I can feel that in my hip extension in my bum and not my back. And then nice and slow, I'll pull that knee into center underneath. I'm off the floor still. Can you keep that knee off the floor as you flex the hip forward? But now go the other way. So we're brushing by that leg out the back, extending the hip, foot to ceiling. My inseam's facing to the right, and now I'm going to face the ground as my knee goes sideways. We bring it out to the elbow. Maybe you can graze or touch that elbow. I almost did there. Pull to center, pull it underneath. Take a second off those hands and relax. I'll do my quarter turn. You stay where you are. And the same thing on the other side here. Think that lock and key articulation in the hip. Open that up. So we have those fingers forward. All four stance, single leg, bend the knee, compress in the hip, and pull forward. Keep your tailbone long as from forward, that knee will move towards the side. My inseam faces down until right about there for me. And now my kneecap faces the ground, my foot faces the ceiling. I'm pulling that knee to center. I'm going to pause and look at myself in the shape. Okay, that's pretty good. Keeping that upper back nice and straight. And then flexing the hip, meaning pulling the knee forward. Holding, bracing, and then extending the hip for one as well. So extend to the back now. Open to the side. Reach out of that hip socket, politely say hello to those new spaces. Pull the knee forward. And then underneath. And press that away. Same thing as before for about 2 repetitions now. Flatten out the feet. Slowly sit. From here, we're going to keep the rib cage good down. Leaning towards back. Are you twisted? Are you square? Just check that out for a second. Hold, hold. And then squeeze your bum. Bum squeeze, hip extension, like that swing. Rest for a second. You could also do it with wider knees. And you might be able to get lower. Play with that for one last repetition here. As the rib cage stays low, you go towards the back, a little bit more, Ian. And then hip extend all the way through. And let's go back onto hands. There's one more drill from this position, but this time, get on an elbow. And this way it will be kind of the best. On an elbow, We'll take this other hand and turn the palm that it's up. Keep your head looking straight down on the inside of that left elbow as you take the other arm and try to reach the side wall without moving your head and neck. Breathe into that. How does that feel? I'm going to take a breath in. I'm going to keep my head looking at my forearm, and I'm going to try to reach or rotate just a little bit more. Then let's move our head a little bit. Catch your head up with your sternum. So where is your sternum? And get your chin in line there. Then for one more, same thing. Add a little bit of a rotation. Breathe into that new space. And then bring everything back nice and slow. We'll alternate to the other side, same thing. Forearm at 90 degrees with a packed shoulder, looking at the inside of the forearm. Take the other hand, reach it through that little gateway, and then without moving your head, try to rotate that rib cage. Wow, this side doesn't move as much. So I'm here, a little bit stressed in the stretch way. I'll take my breath in, exhale, and try to get a little bit of a rotation. Make it harder by straightening the elbow. Make it harder by keeping the eyes in the same place for one more repetition as you try to reach or rotate. Then let the head and neck catch up. Maybe go for one more little ride on a rotation here. And always nice and slow. Bring it back to center. Extend those hips. No rules. Get up however you want. However you want. And now we're here. Horse stance walks. We showed this move the other day. That was a really fun, crowd favorite kind of move, we think. We have our favorite weight transfers this way. And I like that horse stance walk as well because it really helps coach that idea. If we started in our first position or similar, reach out and step down. I step just slightly forward. From here, we'll push a knee forward, keeping one leg straight and one knee bent. Then we'll bend in like a plie shape to get the heels together, and then slide out that leg, again, just slightly in front, and push. I'm going to try to stay about this height throughout this repetition as we move across the floor, encouraging one knee to be bent, the other to be very straight, and slide, point, push, over here, slide, step, push through the back, plie shape, slide. And that's about as close as you probably want me to get to the computer. Here we go, last one. Whoa. Okay, rest, shake that out. Just because we love all those other things doesn't mean we have stopped thinking about our get-ups. Do you have a kettlebell? Do you want one? I'm not getting paid to say this, but I'd go to my friend Colin, Great Lakes Jira, to get a kettlebell. It's super aesthetic. It looks so good in the corner of your room. You should get one. It's simple, it's strong. Right now, let's just do it with my classic dumbbell. Classic wood dumbbell. So if you have a light implement and you're confident going overhead, let's place the arm overhead. If not, hold it in rack. Arm overhead. Are you shrugged? Pull the armpit down. We'll obviously talk about that as we go forward. Take the arm of the leg you can touch, drop it into your lunge, nice and control-like. Then open up. We add that rotation we just prepped from before, and then we'll hinge on the hip, finding the hand down. Now, are you loaded or stacked over top of that arm on the ground? I think so. So I'll move to my tall sit. From the tall sit, I'll get to the elbow, and this is where the work is today. 10 seconds is not the mandate, but just the idea. Can you go 10, 9 as you brace, and 7 and 6 and 5, and can you still talk as you lower to the floor? Holy cow. Now for a couple in a row as well, to really get that idea of the hip extension, you stay where you are. To really get the idea of the hip extension, push through the floor, initiating a roll, and return to your back. 2 more here as we extend or push. There's a $1,000 bill under the foot. Don't let anyone touch it. And then roll to your back. And the final one here, get that arm in the get-ups position, extend and pull to the elbow. From there, tall sit. From there, bridge over top. Sweep a leg, come on up, square up the lunge, hi-ya, to stand. Hold down. We'll do that again in a moment. Until then, horse stance walk one more time. I'll face this way, see if it clears some things up as we go. My feet are in parallel. I'll open up to my first stance. That tendu action out to my first step. We can grow as we feel more confident with this movement. Both my knees are straight, and I'll keep my left leg straight as my right knee bends to over front. I'll slide to my plie shape, point forward on the other leg, and push that way to go that way. Then bring the knee underneath, slide out, push to the other side. Where are your hips? Keep those hips underneath. Then plie shape, slide through, push, keep going. So we're here. Then again, we'll slide out, pushing through my left to go to the right. Let's do 2 more here as we slide under. Push there to go there. And then last repetition. Woo. And then up. And again, that little wiggle or shake. Get up on the other side, or get down and then get up. This side. So from here, we call that our racks position. From racks position, we can press overhead. Are we shrugged or are we packed? Packed is the right answer. From here, drop the leg you can touch in a lunge. Open up to the side. Now rotate and hinge. The bell or the arm then stacks over the hand on the floor. We hit the tall sit. We find the elbow. With that core brace, we return. Same thing. Hip extend. Oh, we didn't do the hard part. Okay, come on up. I'm so sorry. To the elbow. This is the hard part again. For 10 or so seconds, core brace, 10, 9, 8, 7, and rest. And now for 3, let's do that hip extension where we push through the floor, initiating the roll to the back. Push through the hip, initiating that roll, cramp up the glute. And 1 more, hip extend. Then from here, pull on the elbow, tall sit, push through the foot, transition over the hand, sweep, get tall, square up, extend, pull down, and then chuck it. No, that didn't land, I know. Only Lauren can do that, I know. Horse stances, squats. How are your squat legs feeling today? Excellent. We're gonna lunge and squat and try to do it on our toes. Ooh, cool. Maybe. We'll also work on get up transitions down and then strategies for that nice core brace, probably with no load today. Make a loaded effort as you explore and know what we're doing first. But body weight for the get up will be just fine for today. But still, get a kettlebell for a home because they're so hard to find actually, but they are very, very diverse applications with them as well. Enough of that. Squats. First, set up in your squat. Then slowly pull down to your squat. From that position, find 1 set of toes. Hang out there for 3, 2, 1, down. Find the other set of toes. 3, 2, 1, down. Then one more time each. Is your ankle pushing forward or dumping on the pinky side? Share that load. Let's go the other side. Same thing. That ankle bone here to push forward, down, and up. Intense, just about right. Let us know. We like feedback. I hope that feels okay. Let's do that one more go. Are you happy with your stance? Or do you want things a little wider, narrower? Same thing, 2 repetitions each. Take your time as we go down into our squat. And from there, find the ball of a toe. And down. Then the same thing on the other side. Slow and steady. Keep that ankle bone pushing forward. And then one more of each. Ball of foot. Down. Ball of foot. Down. And then push down to go up. And then wiggle, heel, toe those legs in. And shake it all about. From here, we'll do our get up down. Hand across chest or overhead. Leg we can touch. Down. Then we'll open. Then we'll hinge. After we rotate, said that wrong. Lean over top of that hand. Sit tall. And find that elbow. 10 seconds might have been crazy. So try to move to the floor for 3 seconds and then back to where we are right now. Ready to go? Hand across chest. Pushing that elbow low into the floor. 3, 2, 1, come back. Cool. Let's do that again, but add a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back. Let's go back to 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. And then on your own, as slow, as long as you can, safely, maybe 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. From here, push through the hip, pull on the elbow, hit your awesome positions as we transition to our get up. From this position in our tall sit, I'm pressing through the leg to transition load over here, sweeping, hinging up, lunging style to tall. I'm going to be turning sideways here for this lunge variation. Actually, I'm turning behind first. In our lunge, if you look at my foot here, we can see it. Nope, not quite. Maybe that's okay. This ankle, no thank you. This ankle, hugging center, yes please. That's maybe overdoing it, but we want to think about hugging center here, this adduction line, pulling together into Lauren's straw, if you will. So now we'll turn sideways and we'll set up our lunge. In your lunge position, elevate to the front toe. Now staying on the toes, it does not have to be low. Go into a nice little lunge here, hang out, and then stand straight up, keeping this leg vertical on the shin. I should back up, I should step forward just a little bit more. The front leg vertical, and you're pushing this back hip, if you will, or this left leg of mine forward while staying on toes, and then straighten the back knee, staying on toes. One last time, hug the knee into center, stay on the toes as you descend into your safe lunge here, and then from there, stand to tall. Heel down in the front, push off the back, stand tall, and then rest. Whew. Same thing other side. I love those hands on the hip holsters. Use your balance aid as you need as well. So from here, we step to our lunge. Keeping that front shin vertical, elevate on the toe. Keep the back hip pushing forward to help keep that vertical. Hug center, straighten out the back knee. 3 total, let's do it again. Everything's slow, and again, this right hip of mine close to the camera is being pushed forward. Low lunge, nice and tall. Back leg. And then one more time, slow as we go. down to control, hug center, straighten the back knee, heel down in the front, push off the back, carry through. New favorites, no thank you, let me know. Thank you for being here. We have the other side of that getup. I had my right elbow on the ground, so this time I'm going to take that right hand and cross my chest. The leg I can touch is my left. Drop down and do a lunge. Open, rotate, hinge, tall sit, and let's pause on that elbow. 3 seconds. Try to move towards the floor for 3 seconds, knowing that we want to come back to this position we're in right now. Ready? Take a breath, and 3, 2, 1, and forward. And 4 seconds this time. Breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Take a second off. Let's go back to 3. Pack that shoulder. Core brace. 3, 2, 1. And back. And now I'm probably going to fail on 10 seconds, but we're going to try to fill it with safety in mind. Up to 10 seconds to the floor. Go. 10, 9, 8. Heavy elbow, heavy leg. Help share that load. Ooh. And rest. Then, using the bent knee, we'll extend the hip, pull on the elbow, hit the tall sit, push around, sweep, tall, square, hi-ya. Come on up. Let's come back to that squat. In our squat stance, take your time and pull yourself towards your low. Then, hands hips, hand side, hand on your head. Any kind of fun shape you want to make. Can we hang out on those toes for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now push the heels down. Perhaps sink lower. 2 more. Find those toes. Before I go higher, I want to check and make sure that those ankle bones are pushing forward, having a tough time on my left. Then we're going to go heels down. 1 more time. Find those toes for 5, 4, 3. Heavy down, push down, grow up, own it, and then wiggle it out. Kind of burning these legs to finish. Let's do the lunge back to back here. In your lunge stance, step back. Keep that front knee vertical. Elevate the heel on the front as well. Slowly, I need to modify my stance. Push that back hip forward as we descend into our lunge. And stand up by straightening the back knee. Squeeze the hip, glutes. 2 more, I hope, here as we go slow and low, keeping that vertical shin. And then stand up, straightening that back leg. And one last time, we'll pull the knee forward, taking our time getting low, standing up, heel down in the front, push off the back, carry the leg through. Final repetition, or series of repetitions on the other side. This is my hard side. Have you seen that? No? Focus on you. But we're all going to have a side that's a little bit more challenging. And this one is going to be mine. From here, elevate onto the toes on both the front and the back leg. Keep the front shin vertical by pushing and extending the hip. You might not get as low, but that's more honest and better for the purpose of this drill. Then straighten out the back leg, squeezing the butt. Holy cow. Then 2 more as we're allowed. We're going to bring that knee down, extending this back hip as to bring it forward, and then stand up with a straight leg out the back. And for 1 more time, nice and slow low, keep that front shin vertical, and stand up. The front heel comes down, push off the back, and to tall. to reset. Get down on the floor. Choose your harder side. It'll be the last movement that we do together to get to the floor. Choose your harder side in the get up. For me, that's going to be where my left elbow is on the floor. From this position, I would touch my left leg. Let's practice that lunge. Is this hip coming through in this lunge? Practice that. Then open. Rotate, hinge. Hand on the floor. Find that elbow. And not my number, your number. But my form, not the sloppy one. So press that foot away. Press the elbow away and the foot heavy. Take a breath, and I'm going to try to fill 8 seconds here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ooh. And then we're here on the ground. To finish, maybe you have that pillow. Maybe you don't need one. But from here, I'm going to straighten out that bottom leg. Take the top one, cross the body. Take this hand, opposite, place it here. Hand, rib cage. Even better if you could dig your fingers in between your ribs. Check it. I'm going to try it. Dig in. Find some rib spaces. Pull on your ribs. Here we go. Crunch across the body a little bit. Then pull long and try to get your head to touch the floor. And if it doesn't, that's where you need that yoga block. Holy, that's a big stretch. So just breathe in here. From here, let your head follow as you roll towards the floor, away from the bent knee. Take a breath. Maybe roll 1 degree more. Modify that head and neck, chin tuck as you go. Take a breath. Before we move further, is the bottom leg straight? Is the leg across your body bent with the knee at about your belly button height? Are you grabbing those ribs? Are you feeling okay to twist? 1 or 2 more with a breath in. Grab those ribs and lightly pull or rotate to the other side. I like this variation because your back should feel protected and stacked, and we're trying to move through the rib cage. For one last time with the shoulders low, chin tuck as you need. Take a breath in. And then rotate. Take your time to come back with strength. Stack those shoulders. And then stay low and repeat on the other side. I'm going to switch around here. So setting up much the same way here, we have a straight bottom leg, a bent top leg across the body. It's blending in maybe, but again, that knee is in my belly button height. Opposite hand to knee. This hand grabbing the fingers on those rib spaces. Little bit of a crunch towards the camera, and then lengthen out and pull, and try to slowly, lightly connect the head to your pillow or the floor. Personally, I'm going to look up at the ceiling and keep my head there. From here, I'll take my breath, feel it in the belly, and then exhaling as you rotate a degree or 2. Take a breath, add some rotation, maybe the chin tuck to lengthen out the head neck. Breath in, breath out. And before we go further, straighten the bottom leg, maybe adjust that top position of the hand and knee. Check in that this is safe and stretchy. Take a breath. Maybe another rotation there on the exhale. And then very slow, pull back to center. Take your time coming up. Absolutely no rush. And welcome. Thank you very much for following along today with myself. Lauren, are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, she's still here. Hard at work in the studio, making things great for our online studio audience, as well for those who can make it in the studio. Our online studio is now open for registration. Our in-studio is now open for enrollment at barsandbells.com/join a class, book a class. It's easy to find. I'm so sorry. we will not butcher this sign off next week. But thank you very much for being with us today as restored and recharged with our exercise. I hope you enjoy those movements. I had a great time sharing them with you today and look forward to doing so next week as well. Have a great weekend. We are here on the weekend with stuff, but I'll let you check out that schedule if you would like to. Have a good day. Take care.